Woman, I entered your stomach when you were 6 months pregnant. I am a 46 years old man, married with two wives, and with seven children in my kingdom. Once upon a time, in a small African village, lived a very handsome and rich young man named Uduak, who was married to a beautiful young girl named Amaka. Together, they were married for 3 years, but Amaka was unable to conceive a child. The villagers called her Stone Stomach for her inability to conceive. But her husband, Uduak, did not feel bothered because he loved his wife, Amaka, and believed that in the right time, the gods will bless them with children. In their 4th year of marriage, Amaka became pregnant. Her husband, overwhelmed with joy, asked Amaka not to carry out any household chores in order to be healthy for the baby, and hired a slave to help her since he was a rich man. Amaka was only allowed to go out in the evenings together with other villagers to gather under a big tree in the market square to listen to stories from their elders in the village. One day, Amaka, during the 6th month of her pregnancy, on her way back home, felt a very sharp pain in her stomach. It was as if something entered her, but she was relieved after a few minutes. From that day, Amaka began to have terrible nightmares that wake her up at night. This continued until she gave birth. After 9 months, Amaka gave birth to a bouncing baby boy, and they named him Chinedu. The coming of Chinedu into their lives to them was a moment of joy, but little did they know what the future reserved for them. Few weeks after the coming of Chinedu, strange things began to happen in their home. Sometimes the food in the pot will disappear at night without any trace. Sometimes they will hear strange voices in their hearts in the middle of the night. 2 years later, when all the other children in the village, the same age as Chinedu, had already taken their first steps, Chinedu refused the call of gravity and stayed on the ground, refusing to walk. The villagers started gossiping again, wondering what fate awaited Chinedu. Chinedu's parents, Uduak and Amanda, sought help from the village healers and nearby medical clinics. However, no remedy seemed to unlock the secret behind Chinedu's reluctance to walk. As if that was not enough, Chinedu developed a habit of frequent sicknesses, taking away all of his father's entire life savings and crumbling all of his father's businesses. The coming of Chinedu into his parents' life began to seem more of a curse. As days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, months into years, before long, Chinedu reached the age of 8 without taking a single step. One day, Chinedu's mother, Amaka, embarked on a journey to a friend's place in another kingdom. Amaka, upon her arrival, explained the situation about Chinedu to her friend, who advised her to take Chinedu to a distant kingdom where she would encounter a seer who could help her solve Chinedu's problems. 3 days later, Amaka embarks on a journey with Chinedu to this kingdom. Upon their arrival, few kilometers from the seer shrine, Chinedu, in a manly voice, tied behind his mother's back.
"Woman, put me down."
Amaka, in shock as to the voice that she heard, hurriedly unties him and throws him to the ground. Chinedu, on reaching the ground, turns into a matured man and says to his mother,
"I am a 46 years old man in the kingdom where I come from, married to 2 wives and with 7 children. I entered your womb when you were 6 months pregnant in order to destroy you and your family. My time with you is up. If you ever tell anyone about what just happened here, you shall die."
Chinedu disappears. Amaka faints and only regains her consciousness after a few hours. When she wakes up, she returns back home, and upon her arrival, her husband Udwak asks her, "Where is my son?" But she is unable to answer because of what Chinedu had told her. Her husband begins to suspect that she has taken away the life of their son and reports her to the council of elders, who summoned her for questioning. The elders asked Amaka to tell them about the whereabouts of her son. Amaka refuses to talk. The elders came to a conclusion that she will be stoned to death if she does not talk. It is then that Amaka begins to speak. She tells them the story of what had happened with Chinedu. Suddenly, a strange lightning comes down from the sky and strikes her to death. Pregnant women, please learn to stay at home, most especially in the night. Strange things do happen.